Hello, everyone. This is Darcinovio once again, and two more issues of the classic Marvel Star Wars era. Now, unlike the last time where I covered 5 issues, I'm covering 2. Now, I was thinking about doing these 2 issues in separate videos, but to be honest, there wasn't enough in these comics for me to talk about them individually. So, I'm going to talk about issue 16 first, followed by issue 17. Now, issue 16 takes place sometime, after, the first story arc in Marvel Star Wars. I'm more referring to post episode 4 stories, like one of the first, sometime before, after that. And this is the first story that involves characters that have nothing to do with Han, Luke, and Leia. Now, this did not happen at this time. I'm actually surprised they did this. This was a comic that focused on a character that no one really knew about at the time, and this is one of the first occasions where they branched out. They didn't do it often at this point. Well, let's be honest here. In this time, before Empire Strikes Back came out, all there was, the first Star Wars movie to work with. So they couldn't really do anything groundbreaking. How was the story? Well, it was nothing special, but I could see it setting up future stories. I did like the art for it. I thought, I thought it was good. Though, in my opinion, I think the follow-up story was better. But then again, I think it's one of the first stories I actually say I really like in this run of Star Wars. Now, I think the artwork is pretty good for this comic. And I think this is a good story that sets up future stories. And I'm pretty sure the character in here is a character that is going to be featured in issue 108. I think the artwork is really good. I think the reveal at the end is, I don't know. I just like the look of a human and cyborg hybrid. This guy kind of looks like the Terminator before the Terminator existed. I'm looking forward to reading more about this guy. I really am. Now, issue 17 it is a story about Luke Skywalker prior to the events of A New Hope. And this also is one of the few stories that features Biggs. Now, that's something. In my opinion, this is probably my favorite issue of this entire run so far, because unlike the other issues, we don't get to learn more about these characters. And even though it's not a whole lot, I feel like this comic does give some more information about Luke's past and his relationship with Biggs. Now, at this time, the deleted scene, at least the one towards the end of the movie, was not in the movie. It was kept out until it was added into the special edition. So the only time you really knew anything about Biggs was in the novelization or in the audio drama. This gives us more information about that, and the artwork is really good. This actually feels like a Star Wars story. It has the look of a Star Wars story. And even though I have nothing against the other comics, I think this is I can't comment on the next issue, but I feel like this is when this series really started to it actually feels more like the Star Wars that I know. Because in my opinion, the earlier issues, the stories are a little too wacky for me. It doesn't feel like Star Wars, but this does. And it makes, Biggs' death even more tragic when you think about it. This is and I'm looking forward to reading the next issue. I think issue 16 is a good issue to set up future stories. On its own, meh. But issue 17, I think, in isolation, is a good short story. And I recommend anyone to actually pick this up, even if they don't really want to read through this entire run. I think it's a good issue, especially if you would like to read something about Luke and Biggs, before A New Hope. Now, next time I review Marvel Star Wars, I'm going to be reviewing another, 5-issue story arc, and that's it. This is Darcenovia, over and out. May the Force be with you, and see you guys in the next review. Later.